Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode, and tonight I'm going to be talking about one of my all-time favorite television shows that comes to us from across the pond. If you're not familiar with this show or the actor, I definitely encourage you to check it out. You can find a lot of clips on YouTube. There was, of course, 2 US movies, an animated show. I wasn't really a big fan of the animated so much, or the second movie, but the TV show, the original TV show, and the first movie were really great. If I'm in a bad mood, I can watch them and I'll laugh every single time. I'm talking about Mr. Bean, starring the legendary Rowan Atkinson. If you're enjoying my channel, please make sure you subscribe. Hit the little notification bell up top so you'll be the first to know whenever I post a video. Try to do them on a fairly regular basis, time permitting, but as an adult in 2020, that's not always a luxury we have. If you do enjoy the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Tell me something down in the comments that you enjoy about it, something you don't like about it. If you're a fan of Mr. Bean, if you're not a fan of Mr. Bean, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. So, I'm pretty familiar with British humor. I've been watching it since I was a little kid. I watched it with my grandmother. There were a lot of the British television shows on PBS. Of course, Benny Hill, I absolutely loved as a kid. The music and just all the slapstickness of it. British comedy is kind of an acquired taste for us here in America. It's a little dry. It could be a little raunchy, but it's one of those things you either love it or you don't love it. So, like I said, I was pretty familiar with a lot of the British comedies. I did used to watch them as a kid with my grandmother, but this particular show, one of my best friends, his little brother, introduced me to it, and I loved it. Rowan Atkinson, I was familiar with Rowan Atkinson before because I had a friend that was actually from England, and he introduced me to a show that Rowan Atkinson had been in earlier called Blackadder, where he's kind of going through time and he's playing all these different characters. He talked a lot in that one. In Mr. Bean, it's 99% physical comedy. He rarely says something, but the guy is a master of physical comedy. He is up there with the all-time greats. I think back to a show I loved in the late 80s, early 90s, Perfect Strangers, that starred Bronson Pinchot and Mark Lynn-Baker. Those two guys were amazing physical comedy stars, and they played so well together. Rowan Atkinson blows them out of the water, just to kind of put it in perspective. Mr. Bean is just kind of like this nerdy, goofy, social outcast. It seems to be a theme in things I like that are similar to what I am. But anyway, he's I don't want to say a man-child. I don't quite know how to describe Mr. Bean. If you've never seen him, it's one of those things you just kind of have to watch it to understand. But he says so much with his expression, with his eyes, with his actions, and he does the funniest, stupidest things you can imagine, and it's hysterical. Just the way he, sort of like a Rube Goldberg effect, if you're familiar with what that is. Just an amazing, talented guy. Like I said, he was great in Blackadder. I've seen him in plenty of other things. He's fairly well known nowadays. Back then, he was in smaller parts and whatnot. I don't want to say this show was kind of what made him a star, because I think he was well known across the pond. I think here in America that kind of brought him to the forefront. It's about 3 seasons long. The episodes are fairly short. They could be anywhere from like 7 to 20 minutes, something like that. I used to watch him, like I said, with my friend and his little brother on PBS on Saturday nights. Just loved it. Just so many funny episodes. Him driving on the top of his car, sitting in a chair. Him meeting the Queen of England when he goes to the dentist, when he goes to church, when he has to take a test. You have to see them. I cannot do this guy justice. He is so talented, and he so conveys everything he's trying to say and he's thinking. You could just follow his thought process along perfectly just by watching his facial expressions. The guy is super, super talented. Then, of course, in the late 90s, or maybe it was early 90s, I'm not really certain, they had a movie called Mr. Bean that came out here in America. And for a lot of people, it was an introduction to the character. If you're not familiar with the show, if you had never seen the show, admittedly, I loved the movie. I thought it was really funny. It was kind of like an expanded version of episodes combined into one, if that makes sense. A lot of the gags he did in the movie were ones that he originally had done in the TV show. But again, if you've never seen the TV show, you're seeing him for the first time in the movie, you're laughing your ass off, frankly. But again, prepare yourself. If you do plan on watching this, watch the show first, and you'll see that he kind of brings the best bits into the movie. But the movie was hysterical. I can't think of the actor that he was in it with, the guy who was on Ally McBeal. Just another neurotic character who plays so well. They play very well off each other. Again, I don't want to spoil it. It's one of those things you have to see it. I can't really explain it. But again, Mr. Bean, so funny. If you're in a bad mood, just sit down on YouTube 1 minute after you watch this video. Look up Mr. Bean and try to find one of his more popular episodes. Again, like I said, there was a second movie, Mr. Bean's Holiday. I really wasn't crazy about that one. I think at that point, Rowan Atkinson really had grown tired of the character. He's since retired the character. And I can understand, because I've spoken in previous videos where actors and actresses, they get tired of typecast, or they get tired of doing a certain role for, so long. That's not what they want to do with their careers. And I understand that to some extent. With Rowan Atkinson, with other actors, not so much, because it's like, that's your bread and butter. But he's talented enough that he could do kind of other things. So I can understand that he wanted to move on from that. There was an animated series. I really never watched it, never really got into it. I mean, the original TV series to me is the best. Like I said, I found this DVD set a couple of years back. It really wasn't much. It was A&E put it out, maybe $20-$30. I mean, worth every penny. I don't even remember how many episodes there are. I just remember, him going to the beach, him taking his girlfriend to the movies, and the previous mentioned ones. If you like slapstick comedy, if you're a fan of silent movies, you can appreciate this, because I mean, there's other characters might speak a little bit in the show, but he rarely ever says anything. Like I said, it's just physical comedy, slapstick humor mixed with the British humor, if you understand that. Awesome thing. I would highly recommend you check it out. Big fan of his. What more can I say? This is one of those episodes I'm not going to really have any spoilers. You have to watch it for yourself. If you're in a bad mood, this is perfect to watch. You will laugh your ass off, and you will have a good time. So that's really all I got to say. Again, because I'm not really wanting to spoil a lot about it, I just kind of wanted to share that out of all the British shows I've ever seen, beside Benny Hill, this is probably my all-time favorite. Benny Hill, of course, was more raunchy and whatnot, but I haven't seen that since I was a kid. I don't have any of the DVD sets of that, but Mr. Bean, definitely check it out. If you've enjoyed my videos, please give this one a thumbs up. If you've been enjoying my channel, definitely subscribe, hit the little notification bell so you'll be the first to know whenever I post something new. Leave something down in the comments. Tell me what you enjoy about this video, something you don't enjoy about it. If you're a fan of Mr. Bean, if you're not a fan of Mr. Bean, I would love to talk to you, and we will see you in the next video.